Good morning, Nancy.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Happy Easter.
Yes. For those of you who used to do sunrise service, we're even letting you sleep in.
Happy Trans Awareness Day too.
Mm-hmm.
Why are the event? Oops.
Trans Awareness Day too.
My phone. Shut that down. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Why are the evangelicals not seeing the blasphemy of Trump says it does? Love and light, Debbie Joyce. Earth Mama, good morning.
Yes.
Where are they?
Sweet darling Lulu, I don't know where you live, sweetie darling Lulu. I live in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and evangelicals don't see much except what they're told. Now, there are some younger evangelicals and some that are environmentalists and other things that are not so blind, but that's why. And some of them are seeing it, I'm sure.
Yeah, there's been a few videos I've seen, and religious leaders or priests or whatever are saying this is not right.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit here and there. It's like, why do people attend that clown in Texas? What's his name? Give him all his money.
Oh, the one in Houston?
Yeah. It's like they just can't see through it.
They do it because it's a real, having grown up around them, it's a real pattern around them. And I used to work for a lot of prosperity Christians, and I got mine not because my parents were millionaires, and I married a guy whose parents were millionaires, and that's how he ended up with a nice ski lodge in Colorado. It's because we really worked for it. So, and I'm not saying there are a lot of people who've earned a lot of stuff all by themselves, and they've done well, but define regular Republicans. I don't know such things. There's members of his cult.
You mean like normal people?
Yeah.
I believe it. I would probably, they do it for power and money
And prestige.
and prestige, behind the scenes, they're disgusted.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes, normal people hate 45.
Mm-hmm.
It's a clan, a family. You got to stay in the family. That kind of junk.
Well,
Mitt Romney talked about it. Paul, the guy from Wisconsin, he was a ex-House Speaker. Paul Ryan.
Ryan. Yeah, but then Paul Ryan sits over on the board of Fox News making a ton of change and listening to them lie, and he knows they're lying, and he's not doing anything about it.
Mm-hmm. Future of Carrie Lake. She's going downhill. Hurry.
Please, I'm going to do Life is Like a Board Game because it's such a place.
She's going to have a judgment coming up soon. She admitted
she doesn't have anything to present in the case.
Arizona Republicans are broke. They're selling their headquarters
that they just built 11 months ago.
Or they paid $1.9 million for it, whatever.
Yep.
Carrie Lake. Who will come after Trudeau?
It's a guy whose name I can't say. It's the one that's lined up to do it.
No, they got someone lined up to take.
Well, he's not of Trudeau's persuasion.
So Canada has, what do you call it? Term limits?
No, Trudeau's really screwed up.
No, I haven't noticed.
Well, sometimes, if you stay too long, you screw up just by staying too long. You know?
Well, eventually you're gonna
He's
find
had
something.
some scandals around him.
Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake, she's got a mixed future. She's going nowhere right now. And her message is not moving at all. But she is a little the little bunny that doesn't stop. She's like that little bunny, and she's going to find some way out of it and avoid the tower we all think she's going to fall into. I don't see it as being great. I don't see it as being devastating. I'm going to ask if she even has a snowball's chance in hell of getting elected to the Senate. But
She's just full of conflict.
mm-hmm.
I don't think she's got the money that everyone believes she is, or the donations, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the 5 of coins. This is in the past. 5 of coins, 5 of swords, and Knight of swords. Ton of conflicts. A lot of struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Knight of Swords comes in, but that could be the way she is. Just a negative, controversial person. And then she will have to pay a bunch of money here.
Mm-hmm.
Ace of Coins, Judgment, and Dark Times coming ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So this is in the current.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's got justice upon her. She's gonna have to pay out. And then it just says she goes away.
Mm-hmm.
10 of Wands. Her dreams of being in the Senate are gonna go away.
That's right. I got that.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it just seems like she goes away.
There's no plan B. She's not moving forward. She's not able to communicate to anyone quickly. This is her. She's the queen of. She's just a one stubborn woman. She's not going in her own mind. She's going nowhere. But these cards are moving steadily downwards. Now she's getting into wearily defensive, and she's mentally stuck. So she's going nowhere, and quickly.
Get enough good leaders in there,
Mm-hmm.
and the nonsense goes away.
Mm-hmm. Well, the guy she's defaming is a good guy. I mean, he did his job and he followed the law. And he's a Republican. I don't know where those kind of people are going to go, since Trump's going to bankrupt their party.
True. We've seen all these crazies lose elections.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God Warnock won in Georgia.
Yeah.
Fetterman won in Pennsylvania. We see these crazies just, and eventually it'll go better and better and better.
Well, all of the groups that supported cinema thought she was really great, and then she gets in there and she starts screwing with them. All the veterans groups, when she was in office for about a year, they did a whole series of commercials in Arizona. Don't ever support this woman again. It's cinema. She's so screwed with them.
Jesus. She deserves it. She's seen the writing on the wall, but she's probably got something big planned, to lobby or
Unhinged 2. This is styled after Monopoly board games. All the major arcana are this is the devil, is the jail symbol. Yeah, it's called Life is Like a Board Game. It's a good, if you know enough about tarot to kind of understand the cards, but you want to get down to learning keywords, these are excellent cards to play with because they're really down to keywords.
Okay. Let's get in the big news.
Okay. I'll lay serious cards for Judge Mershon.
So there's been multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take it because 45 asked again, or his lawyers did, to have him recused from the case. because of his daughter, but it's already been recognized
Mm-hmm.
last summer or whatever. And I guess Mershani actually asked for advice if he should recuse from a higher board, and they came back saying, no,
Absolutely not.
you're fine. And then we have these additional threats.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mershon and the gag order, please.
Okay.
What's gonna happen with the gag order?
Well, it's hard to gag a rambunctious teenager that doesn't know how to shut his mouth. But Marshawn's looking at what's been going on. He hasn't come to a conclusion yet because he hasn't decided to turn around. This is going to turn out to be a yes, but he realizes there's no meeting of the minds. There's no way you can really come up with something that's going to work, especially with the Supreme Court not letting the immunity ruling out yet. But Marshawn's going to charge forward, and he's going to be victorious when he does. So.
Okay. Karen's, I believe he's going to lose his mind being forced to sit in the court. You're
what
right.
I think they're going to do is they're going to put him in a separate room where he can see and hear the proceedings, but they don't have to listen to him. Because in the last case, when he was in the courtroom and he didn't even really need to be there, he was mouthing off so the jury could hear all the time.
Yeah, that ain't gonna fly.
No. I personally wish we had those kind of things that they put the prisoners in Russia, the sort of jail cell thing on the edge of the courtroom that you can't see or you can see them, but you can't hear.
So I just got the cases moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
3 of Wands, he may be seeking assistance about what to do here, but it feels like it kind of relates to his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Queen of Pentacles coming in, Page of Pentacles, and how she makes her money, whatever. But I don't know if you need to see him or not. But
she's a marketing consultant, is what she is.
3 Wands, that makes sense. You know, it's like it's broad. That's just talking about her. And then I have a Tower, Queen of Wands, and Wheel of Fortune. So I think there will be a different kind of order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a drastic change to what's the norm. Because the Queen of Wands could be a female, but it's also like the creative idea. You know, being outspoken.
Right.
The Tower is a drastic change to the norm, and Wheel of Fortune is change. There's a Tower. In the end, judgment upon another.
Mm-hmm.
The Fool, taking a giant leap. 7 of Cups and 5 of Swords. This really feels like there's going to be a change in the order. So if I was looking for him to get locked up, I would see a 8 of Swords or something like that. Maybe a 4 of Coins. But yeah, it really feels like there's going to be a different kind of order from Judge Mershon.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, it doesn't look like from Judge Mershon he would lock him up or anything. You know, currently. It's like, it feels like zip your lip, or this will happen. But it's, unfortunately, it doesn't feel like yet they're going to go to the extremes of fining or, you know.
They can fine him all they want. I think he's sort of running out of cash. And he can't, whatever he sold with Truth Social.
Oh gosh, a lot of questions. Speaking of cash, UG's unhinged too. Hubby and I disagree on what Mr. T owns. I say he's broke. He said he's got money hidden. Well, I believe he's broke and all leverage, but yeah, I believe he's got money hidden somewhere that he doesn't want to touch just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really believe that wealthy people don't have some offshore accounts hidden somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Bet you they're not in Melania's name.
What's that?
I bet you they're not in Melania's name.
It's under John Dennison, one of his aliases. Remember that? He used a couple.
Barron, that's how his son Barron has his alias. He used to use.
John Barron too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see what the cards say. Yeah, he's broke. 5 of coins.
Yeah, I got he's broke. And I've also got that he didn't move his money fast enough and it got locked up in things.
But yeah, I think prosecutors or someone know where he's got his money.
Well, he's had that court master on his company for what, 3 years? To the state of New York. She said 3 years to talk to everybody he ever banked with.
So yeah, digging into his finances,
Mm-hmm.
I think they know where he's got it. So yeah, here's through court orders, they know he's broke and desolate. You know, the company's leveraged, and then I got your old prosecutors, investigators, knowing where the money is.
Mm-hmm.
9, 10 of cups, and the money. Prosecutors here. And 45 is severely worried about his company and everything. So I think he's worried that, so I got that 9 of swords, that anxiety, that worry. Along with him is 45 representing the King of Coins. But it's disastrous. And then the Queen of Cups feels like his empire, what he supposedly built or whatever. But see, I think they know. I think he is broke. So he's leveraged. I don't think he might be able to even tap into what he's been hiding.
What is that line from Tennessee Williams, Streetcar Named Desire? I survive on the kindness of strangers.
That's what he's doing. He's pimping shoes and Bibles because he's broke. Bail me out because I'm running out of lawyer money.
Yeah, I saw a funny picture on Facebook. Well, it's not funny, but it's a picture of Trump. It's that picture when he was holding the Bible upside down. But it's like it top says Trump selling Bibles, and it looks like he's been hit by a lightning bolt.
Yeah. Just unreal. Religious people believe that this is a good idea. Oh yeah, I'm going to buy a Bible. Make America pray again.
Oh, I don't even have to lay the cards on that. Not nearly enough. And then will you even get them?
Well, it isn't all his money. You know, you got the production costs. Greenwood will get a little bit because it's his product that he originally had out there. I don't know, thousands.
Yeah.
Maybe 40, 50,000, maybe.
His fundraising has dropped dramatically. Unless they're just not reporting it to not show it, but they need to report it because Otherwise, it looks like they're getting swamped financially by the Dems.
Okay. Avian flu.
These are questions that got sent to my website, to my post last night. You're the expert on cows because you live near where all of them are.
Yeah.
Dairy cows.
Generally, I don't believe it's going to hurt anything. It can make other animals sick. Low more milk production, won't eat as well. And then if a veterinarian gives antibiotic or something, of course, they're not going to ship that milk.
Mm.
So, no, I don't believe anything will come of this avian flu thing in dairy cows.
Until the big storm?
Not really, because there's always ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
As far as milk, it's seasonal. Animals like us were temperamental. Cold and weather and flu. I remember farming every seasonal change, they would get sick. And then if you got heat in the summer, milk will go down because they're stressed.
Mm-hmm.
It'll always be like that. But this doesn't feel like it's a huge hit to anything.
Especially since the stores, the big food stores, know they're being watched like a hawk for ripping people off like they did about the eggs. I know nothing about this. I think I know what they're saying. Otani is a Japanese baseball player, I take it.
For LA, yep.
And his Pete Rose got thrown out because he was betting on baseball. Oh, and I got 2 questions in that because there was a second one. My Archangel Michael cards are burnt. Candle is burning low. That's a separate question.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let's see.
All right, John. We've all been praying for years of justice for 45. Remove this man from our lives. Okay. God, I don't even remember how much LA gave him, but like $400 million or something.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it was over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Some crazy amount of money. But there was a big gambling scandal going on with Otani.
Otani gambling scandal. Okay.
Yeah, aren't we all, Clarence? We're all tired of MAGA.
Okay, what I got is he's going to get burnt, but he's not going to be brought down. But he's going to get stained by it. It's a tower reverse.
Oh, you got a tower?
I got that they're going to, the league is going to put some judgment on him because they don't want to get caught in the same mess they got caught in before. But I don't think it's going to be total and absolute destruction because the tower was reversed. He's going to miss being brought down, but he needs a new interpreter.
He is part of this, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think he got involved in something.
Yeah, I think he's in trouble because I got the conflicts of something dark he did, and he knows it was a mistake here.
Mm-hmm.
I got like the 7 of Cups feeling. It's like
I
did a mistake. I also got the Fool. So he did make a mistake. It feels like fun and games. It's like whether it be boredom or whatever, but his interpreter feels like he was a big part of it. Oh, come on. I'm getting pop-up ads. So I have the Duchess, my Empress. Empress star my hermit, fool, and king of coins. It's like
Hmm.
going out and trying to make more money or just foolish things.
Hmm.
Have abundance, have more money, whatever it is. I think he's going to be sitting out for a while.
I think he's going to get sanctioned because the judgment card was there.
Yeah.
Someone's going to pass judgment on
I
it.
got the 8 of Swords,
Hmm.
and that's I put the words I put in that 8 of Swords is being restricted, imprisoned, isolated, recovery. There's some issues there. 5 of Wands is lack of energy. There's some obstacles, conflict, and Ace of Swords is the sword of truth.
Hmm.
So I think he may get fined and possibly have to sit out games, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's directed here. And then the other one was about Archangel Mike. I think
Michael, I can tell you why. I already heard it.
you had a separate one.
Oh, okay. You've got a bad wick in your candle, and that's why it's running low. It's not Archangel Michael's not sending you a personal message. I saw when I looked at this before, I saw something mechanical.
Aw. I mean,
What?
there's not signs at times because of a candle blowing low.
I actually had candles when I was burning down my 9 candles one time. There was something wrong in the fuses, and the fuses must have come from a Chinese fireworks factory. I had 3 candles explode on my little thing.
Good Lord.
I mean, I was sitting there, and I managed to get them all out, and I had to throw them all away. But yeah, so it happens. So if it starts to sparkle, blow it out because it will blow up.
Oh. Yeah, nothing strange with my candle on Easter. Happy Easter, Rebecca. Comer's writing a book on the impeachment.
Now
isn't he embarrassed enough?
well, he's having it ghost written, I hope, but I still wouldn't read it. And the guy, I mean, do you believe he could write an essay, much less a book? And yes, it will be a dud. Got to realize they're writing a book to go to a bunch of people who don't read books. How many of those MAGA people look like they picked up a good book recently and read it?
Oh, I'll just, for giggles, I'm just going to randomly get 3. Yeah, I randomly cut the deck, 3 cards. I got the Emperor. He thinks he's all that in a bag of chips.
Mm-hmm.
But I got 8 of Cups and 5 of Cups.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a losing venture.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's a provider of prosperity and power, but in actual fact, he's a messenger of slow, and his forward movement is non-existent. So no, this ain't going anywhere.
These people are just unreal. Like that Moskowitz and Jamie.
Mm-hmm. Raskin.
And they just lay it onto him. They
Mm-hmm.
give it, and it's like, end this thing, and they just go on Newsmax or.
Well, now they're going after the guy who's in charge of Homeland Security.
Oh yeah, what, April 10th? They're gonna bring it to the Senate or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they have to have hearings and stuff first before they bring it to the Senate?
No, apparently not. Apparently, well, they can't dare have a hearing. Are you kidding? They're going to find out that the person who told them all about this is some felon coyote who's been running people across the border for 100 years. That last hearing they had was such an embarrassment. And when, Lev Parnas says, look, you three that are sitting here, you were in the meetings, you heard it.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Sharon. He said negotiations are in to write a book. Well, if he hasn't wrote the book yet or whatever, it feels like with those 3 cards, he's gonna have to walk away. It's gonna be a dud.
Yeah.
So if he does write, it won't be any upfront money.
Or he's going to be like Meadows and have to give him all the money back because he lied.
No jail. We looked at that. A lot of gag order stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting question here.
Mm-hmm.
Close to 5D.
Okay.
Why do people think about 5D? You know, in reality, we just live our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Life to live.
And,
4D, 5D, da da da. I just believe it's all our own existence. How we feel, how we connect to our own source. We're always going to be living in 3D. Nothing's going to expand. And that is just what I sense.
okay.
But let's see what the cards say. But
I can tell you what it is from having kind of gone through some of it. It really is. Now we're going to have to get into quantum physics, and we don't have that in the cards. It really is the reality you create around yourself. And people used to call that delusional.
yeah, right?
But in actual fact, it isn't. And you will sense it and you will feel it. And it's not something you can kind of really explain to other people. I remember the first time somebody talked to me about the Ascension. It was like 2017. And I said, we're all going to go in an elevator where? I like clueless.
No, my idea of Ascension is like when enough of the planet, like 2/3 majority, finally hit awakening and stopped like believing in authoritarianism, that kind of thing, and to get into the empathy mode of living.
Mm-hmm.
That's Ascension.
Well, I got a good definition of kind of what it's going to feel like to live in it. We won't have to wearily defend ourselves every time we want to say anything that's the truth. And we're not going to think that everything's based on the wheel of fortune. What we're going to face up to the fact is that when we treat each other with justice and the way we would like to be treated, and we become the supporters of generosity, then we'll have the sun, which is the enlightenment. I think enlightenment is such a much better word.
Yeah. Instead of Ascension, right? It's just being enlightened. Being a Christ-like figure to have empathy and care for others.
Mm-hmm.
And MAGA and authoritarianism is making it hard to care for others. How can you care for a figure of like 45 or Putin or Bolsonaro or whoever, or Tucker Carlson, those type of figures? It's like it's hard when they don't have that. So I get the 5 of Wands, 5 of Gabriel, Page of Gabriel, and Knight of Gabriel. That's all energy and focus. Challenges, following passion, and taking action. This is all energy. So we're talking about 5D or whatever. The Lovers, choices of your heart. 8 of Wands, another wand. Communications. And 6 of Swords, the light at the end of the tunnel. So like Running Soft Anne was saying, I hope I ascend when I pass. If you ever watched any videos or anything about crossing over or near-death experiences. It's always there whether you believe or not.
Mhm.
Cash Peters does transitions, and I connect with those, but it's just all about caring for others. Choices of the heart, making emotional commitments, and those communications from above and believing, because
Mhm.
there is that end of the rainbow. But it's just taking in this energy. These are all about energy. All
Mhm.
the Gabriel ones and wands. It's the energy that's around us and surrounding us. It's
Mhm.
taking that in and making choices of the heart and not of the ego.
That's right. That's the biggest problem is your ego is the one that jumps in and says, this is delusional. You can't possibly feel better. You can't possibly find contentment. I don't think it's so much happiness as it's contentment.
Mm-hmm. That's right, JG. I believe that too. Earth is a school, and then we go home. And on this school, we're supposed to love each other.
Well, we're spirits living in a physical body and feeling very constrained.
True, true, true. Okay. Did that one. Did that one. All right. Let's see what Jennifer Cooper wants. The future of medieval work.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a quick
What?
video of him out there and about trying to help democracy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask if he's ever going to run for political office again.
That's probably a good one there, because
he won twice and got ripped off both times by the machine.
right. Oh, you sent me a good article on, yeah, you did, on Texas turning blue.
Blue. Did you see the number of people? We have counties where less than 2% of the people who live in those counties vote. And even in the heavily voting counties, Houston's the only one that breaks 20.
Only 20% vote in Houston. Wow.
Yeah, Ballotpedia did a whole thing on this, and trust me, it's frustrating as hell. And then people come up to you and say, "I don't understand why you work in politics because nothing ever happens." And I always look them straight in the eye and say, "Did you vote?" And I had in my phone or in my computer at the time a complete voter reg. And we had this one guy get up and just dominated a house party in this neighborhood. And and you try not to insult your voters, right? But anyway, I looked it up. He wasn't registered to vote. And he'd asked about 30 of these incredibly difficult questions. And I hated to do it because one of the big reasons people don't vote, one of the reasons people don't vote is they have felony records and they don't know how to get knocked off so they can be reenfranchised. But anyway, finally, I couldn't take this guy anymore. And my candidate almost fired me over it. And I just stood and I said, "Sir, are you registered to vote?" And he looked at me and he goes, "Well, of course I'm registered to vote." I said, "In which county?" "Well, here." And I said, "Well, you might want to check the records because I'm looking at them right now and you're not in the files." And my candidate said, "Why the hell did you do that?" I said, "To shut up any other AH that was going to get up there and do what he was doing." It's real easy to say, "You don't play that game right, and that's not right, and you ought to be doing this and that," when you're not even registered to play the damn game. So I'm going to see.
Yeah. A lot of the outragers don't even vote.
Oh, no. Oh, they do. Now they went over to join MAGA. Trust me. I used to hear them all the time.
Yeah. They probably just go to rallies for the outrage and
Right, because I ran nonpartisan campaigns, guys, so I got the whole political spectrum come to talk to the candidates. Oh, he's clearly going to run. He's just retired right now. He's already deciding where to run and what to look at. He's working with people to create it. It's some area where he knows there's going to be a real tower moment, and that's what we need in this effing state. He's going to come out of his retirement, his Four of Swords, and he has the money to do it.
I do see money there for him. So I brought out the Kipper.
Okay.
To see what they would do. So I got toil and labor. He's working hard. I do see the money there. Working for change. Then I got some sadness cards in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like these people in politics, like Cruz and like Abbott.
Mm-hmm.
So I got false person, coffin, and despair. It just
That
feels,
may be the tower moment that pulls them back out.
it can be. There's a lot of sadness in what's going on with these people. I mean, you can see it by his words and everything he's done, but there's some sadness there. And then moving forward, I got expectations. I think everyone believes he should continue to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Mature woman, I think his wife is pushing him, and lovers. So he is connected to that system. So in this toss, it doesn't show, yep, I'm doing it, but he's still connected.
Well, the tower moment, it's going to come soon. It's right around us. So,
so obviously he's not running against Cruz again.
No. That's the thing is, I was driving around an area that used to be the biggest, brightest, reddest county. It's just north of where I live. Dallas, by the way, is a blue county. So, and the only yard signs I saw were for Colin Allred, who's running against Cruz, and they were in yards. They weren't on corners or things like. They were actually in people's yards. Yard signs don't vote.
True. It does bring out message.
Mm-hmm.
Helps.
It also leads to yard sign wars. That's another. God, you talk about
yard sign burning.
Yeah, they'd steal your yard signs. And there was a woman who had a yard sign up, and every time they stole it, she'd put another one up. And finally, she put a yard sign besides her yard sign that says, "You can keep stealing them, but I'm going to keep buying them, and those are all contributions to the party. So decide what you really want to do."
So weird. So I just randomly pulled 3 more cards on his future out of a different deck.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got high burdens on himself. Then I have death, which is usually a new beginning and a change.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the devil. It's usually jealousy, but it could be removing the devil. They're holding back. So it just feels like he's working right now until the right opportunity. I think he's tired of losing.
Yeah, well.
He's frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe waiting for the right opportunity to get more people to vote and see the light. He's worked hard at it. Maybe he'll take on Cruz or Abbott again when there's enough information and enough justice happen to remove these people. Get enough blue eyes. Yeah, some reason I wanted to say that. Have enough blue eyes out there.
Mm-hmm.
Blue eyes. Yeah, Abbott is.
If he had, yes, he is. If Beto had the number of people that were showing up at his rallies vote, that's very likely. Well, that's true of anybody who runs in a race now.
That's a good question. Was that small election? It was only what? How many people voted? Under 10,000 in that race?
But it was Alabama.
And Alabama did elect Doug Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that race? Was the
Yeah,
other
because
guy just that horrible, or how
oh,
did?
the guy was a perv. I mean, they had the paperwork that he was told to not go into the malls anymore because he was bothering teenagers.
Oh, good Lord. That'll do it. Elect the, well, why don't people see 45 then?
Because they don't. Because they don't have a mall that has the paperwork on them.
Was that Roy Moore?
Yeah.
No. Ian's on top of it. Alabama for the win. Okay. Let's toss some cards on the Alabama crack here.
Okay. Are we saying it's a crack or is it a portent of what's going to happen?
Is the blue wave seeping into Alabama?
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, Marie, I think we need to focus on everybody. Don't leave anybody out. I'll never believe that Florida is that deep red or Texas is that deep red. They can turn blue. But 45 and MAGA is showing the true colors. Because it's bringing people out to vote.
The problem is my daddy was a Republican and my grandpa was a Republican. And you know, none of that's true because they all became Republicans when the Democrats voted in civil rights. So I don't believe that because they really hated Republicans because they related Republicans to those damn Yankees that came and took our state away.
So you got the Hierophant, the traditions of Republicans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then and there's no justice in that state. I mean, there's just none. And there's been a lack of money, although she didn't lack money. But there's a certain strength there. It's a mixed bag. It's our people. The choice is going to be, this is the last one. Are people going to run to something new when they're not sure? I mean, they can't even put water pipes in that don't kill people. So, you know, that's why people don't trust government.
We're seeing the change, yet people still have doubt.
Well, you have to get the right candidates, and you have to get them in there to be able to speak. Because that woman, I mean, you just can't go grab a candidate and say they believe what.
Yeah, you know. Very true.
I can tell you right now, every consultant I talk to, and I know lots of them all around the country, they all tell me it's going to be Roe-vember. It's going to be Roe versus Wade in November, and that because they're trying to push it all up and down the ballot. Because you can reelect Biden, but if he ends up with the clown car he's got there now, they're not governing.
Oh, good Lord. Carrie said, local Democratic Party had a candidate 4 years back. Black woman, great backstory, good speaker. Then she didn't even vote herself. That's not a good sign.
No, but, you know, when you sit down with a candidate and you know they're going to run for an office, I had a whole interview method, and I used to have them tell me the thing they thought was going to be the worst. If it got out about them, what would be the worst thing? And so that we could have a story and we could have a explanation to follow it up. And there would be one for that. If she didn't vote for herself, that's a problem. But she can say, I've seen now what I need to do. What are you laughing about, Scott?
No, you could. A quick story on not voting for yourself. I didn't vote for myself for the junior prom and lost by 1 vote. I wasn't included in our junior prom because I didn't vote for myself. So
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
you should vote for yourself.
Yeah, and you should, and you know, and I don't bitch out anybody if they show up and they start to work and they want to help and they want to learn and they want to understand what's going on. It's the people who used to kind of come up to me and go, "Oh, well, I just can't understand why you waste your time in politics." And I said, "Because it sets up everything that's going to happen around you for all your life." And for you to be sit there and arrogantly think, why, you know, it used to, well, it is because of the voting numbers. When I vote in our smaller municipal elections, they shouldn't be smaller. They should be just as big as the other ones. But I'm voting for 30 people. What power? I mean, why? And I can guarantee you, considering the county I stand in, a lot of the people that I'm voting in place of, they don't want my vote to be the one that's cast kind of in their name. So and it's not that hard to figure out what's going on. As Scott found out when he went to go vote on proposition. Those are terrible.
Well, it's coming up Tuesday, my voting. But I,
Hmm.
was, but I wanted Nancy's advice because I was confused. There was on Tuesday we got um, referendum votes
Hmm.
that I had no clue were even going to be on there unless you search it out. And you read the question, it's like, well, that sounds like dark money. I don't want dark money in our politics, but it's actually
Hmm.
helping. It's money to help.
Hmm.
So then I just Googled instead of your advice, and I found it out before you responded. But
There are whole companies. There are law firms in Dallas that have divisions that write that verbiage, and they actually passed a law at one point that said you have to make it understandable. You have to put it in real words. You can't have yes mean no and no mean yes.
yeah, there should be a little bit more of an explanation than
The
should
legal.
should election officials or what was it? Something about should election offices be allowed to get grants and
Hmm.
money for running their operations?
Hmm.
Well, when you read it, it sounds like, you know,
Someone's buying their way in through a
someone's
grant.
buying it instead of that there isn't enough resources for these operations to work. So free money comes in to help this operations flow. That's what it's about. And the Republicans do not want extra money into these operations.
Yeah, especially because most of the grant money is given for voter education.
Yeah. Or, like during COVID, they used the extra money to set up alternate polling places
Hmm.
because of COVID or
Hmm.
outdoor boxes, that kind of thing, or extra help to, you know, help elderly vote and that kind of thing. So, yeah. And then the other question was about something else. I can't remember right now. But but the way they posed the questions, I was like confused because it's like a reverse question. But like the League of Women Voters and everyone else says,
Hmm.
vote no because it's better. But the Republicans want to change things,
Hmm.
and they do it. It's like wasn't the Ohio abortion question kind of
Oh yeah, that's one of the ones that the don't no means yes and yes means no.
so yeah, and then I looked it up on myvote.com or org or whatever.
Hmm.
There's referendum questions in August for Wisconsin and on the November election too.
How often do you people vote?
3 times.
Oh,
It
Lauren
could be
Boebert.
four. It could be four sometimes.
Yeah, if you have a runoff. Lauren Boebert got her butt saved by the Republican Party.
Oh yeah, that sucked. I seen
Hmm.
that too. I'm like, because the way it originally played out, I was like, oh, she's got to make a choice. But the guy somehow she can still run in November, but not have to run in the primaries in the 4th district, which is strange.
No, she has to run in the primary. I mean, to get on that ballot, she has to. But this guy's filling the seat in, so it's going to be whenever they would have the traditional, and she doesn't have to give up her seat because it's an open seat. I had to read it like 6 times to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah, that made no sense, but somehow, some way, she slipped out of that one.
No, the Republican Party in Colorado handed her, but I don't know what they think they're doing, because when they had a straw poll just a couple months ago in the district she's moving to, she was 5 out of 5. I mean, she was the last one that they wanted. So
Rose is a little confused.
okay, she is currently in District 3. She's switching to District 4. In order because
Ken Buck left.
Because Ken Buck left, it meant it was a totally open seat. So you can't be in a congressional seat and running for a different district. So
Right.
she was going to have to leave her district seat to go over and be part of the
Primary.
for that district. But what happened was the Republicans put a placeholder in there, which they weren't supposed to be able to do. Well, I don't know. I mean, I thought that's what the rules were, but who knows? Who cares? They put this guy in who ran for governor and lost, and he says he's not going to run in the primary for that seat. So now she doesn't have to leave her district. She doesn't have to give up her congressional seat to run for in just a primary, because it's not an open seat. Trust me, I had to read this thing 16.
It's weird. Somehow they worked the laws so she can still run in November and not give up her seat.
Right.
Basically what it comes down to. And it's,
well, she can run in the primary, but she's got to make it through that. Now, if she doesn't make it through that primary, she's not up for her own seat either. So they must be playing games to try and hold on to that girl. Why?
I read through it numerous times too, and it's confusing, but everyone says somehow how they did it, because they got this guy that's going to be in the seat. It's like the primary's canceled, something like that. It's weird.
No, they still have to have a primary. Among those candidates, they still have to have the one that they pick, who, unless the Republican Party is going to just pick her to be the candidate, but I don't think they can do that. I don't know. Guys, Colorado used to be blue. Colorado used to be redder than Texas until a bunch of Colorado millionaires decided they were going to turn it blue. And I've talked to people who were part of that whole thing that did it. It's a fascinating story. But they're still stuck with these really bizarre laws. Well, you heard that Blagojevich, just south of you, he's suing to try and be able to run, because right now he can't, because he's been jailed. He's a felon. Anyway, the Illinois Supreme Court wrote a 10-page rebuttal of what he wants.
It's strange. I read numerous articles, and we're just saying that Boebert is staying in District 3, but running in November on District 4, and somehow she's able to do it. That's all we know.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
And so if you're in Colorado and you're in District 4 and Boebert's name's anywhere near you, vote no. Yeah, but they said what caught my eye when I saw the article about Blagojevich, he was governor after I left, so I don't know. The judges ended up quoting Dr. Seuss in their ruling about why he can't do what he thinks he can do.
Well, Karen believes otherwise, but I don't know. I read the article, numerous articles, numerous times.
Yeah, but see, to even run in that June primary, she was going to have to give up the seat she has right now.
Right.
But because the seat now has someone sitting in it, She can still run in that June primary, but she doesn't have to give up her seat right now.
Right. Because it has a placeholder.
Because it has someone in there. Mm-hmm.
Correct. Because there is a placeholder.
Trust me, guys, I spent 20 years reading this kind of crap. Ian McGrath.
She can keep her seat, but run in the primary.
Mm-hmm. Ian says they have no update on the golf course.
All we know is he owes $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
I have cards laid out for something. Our last question, but I forgot what it was. You answered it, but I never got to it. I forgot what it was.
Mm-hmm. That happens.
It wasn't Beto. What do we do after that? I forgot. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I guess I'm just gonna pull them away.
Who is this? Oh, okay.
Yogi Winner 45 is gonna get convicted in the Bragg case.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's gonna be convicted everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any escape for him. It's just gonna be down, down, down. Oh, what the heck? I'll grab the kipper again.
Mm-hmm.
Boebert must have escorted the right person. You can't ride two horses with one butt. I know, right? Unbelievable. Okay. Alvin Bragg case coming up in 2 weeks, finally.
Okay.
Nothing's going to stop this train. Oh, it's been hard work to get there.
Remember, we have an eclipse between then and now. Anything can happen.
No, let's put 3 more expectations. I tried the kipper again. But yeah, it's been a hard road to get to him in a criminal courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
So the main mail we'll put down as 45. Toil and labor to get there, and then pathway. It's been a long journey to get him in a courthouse. So then the supposed wealthy man, thief in the night, and the female is going to take him down. Yeah, I believe he's convicted. Official person looks like the judge will have success with expectations.
I got this card. This is my yes. It's transition. That's death. In a traditional deck, something's about to change in this whole case, and it's going to turn it on its head.
Turning on heads. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to kill him to have to sit in court.
I want him to sit in a little plexiglass room somewhere.
How long do you sense the jury selection is going to take? Do you have a sense of that?
Well, they put the notice out in February.
Right, but you know, they got to all come and then they got to whittle it down, and that could take, you know, you got that horror story of Fannie Willis is trying to get a jury, and it's been 9 months. Oh, I'm going to try 3 cards and see if I can get a sense of how long jury selection takes the 15th, starting the 15th. Well, Statue of Liberty, Chariot. Chariot, Ace of Cups, and my decisions cards in Ballot Weighing. So Chariot is a fast card. So I don't think it's going to take long.
No, I don't think it's going to take longer than 5 days.
I don't have any numbers. Oh, my Chariot card is 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, April coming.
Mm-hmm. Moving.
4 days.
Mm-hmm. 4 or 5 days, yeah.
Hopefully the 20th, 22nd, something like that. Should be starting the way it's supposed to go. Okay. We're at 105.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you see anything in the stars that jumping out at you?
Yeah, I want to know about these fish that are swimming in circles in Florida and dying.
What?
Did you not see that? Okay. I'm looking for it. It's 10:36.
Fish swimming in circles. Oh my God. I just read a story this morning. Rivers, I think it's in Missouri, but a company accidentally dropped fertilizer, millions of gallons of fertilizer, and it's killing fish in the rivers. If the DNR and whatnot estimate 800,000 fish have died.
Yeah, and they all want to just get rid of the EPA. And that's the next big case that's in front of the Supreme Court, to get rid of this thing that says that federal agencies can rule over companies. She's at 10:36. It says, per CNN, there's a strange underwater mystery in the Florida Keys. Fish are swimming in circles until they die. Researchers are racing to figure out what's causing this behavior and how to stop it. She's at 10:36.
Yeah, I missed that one. I'm almost there to highlight it. 10:36. Curse AJ.
Mm-hmm.
There's a strange underwater mystery in the Florida Keys. Fish there are swimming in circles until they die. Weird.
I know.
Is it anywhere near the
Chrome Sisters? No, they're moved.
No, God, I can't remember the name. The mysterious circle in the ocean there.
Oh, the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, is it anywhere near Bermuda?
It's not a circle. It's a 3-sided circle.
Okay. It's algae
goes
neurotoxin.
into the Bermuda Triangle. But...
Sure. We should have a cry room for Donnie Boo Boo. There's a naval base there.
Oh.
One of the fish is endangered species.
Well, they are now. They weren't before.
The water is not heating up the water. Christine says, I listened to a person that channeled Poseidon. He said the change in the water is not just heating up the water, but killing off plankton.
Yeah.
Algae bloom. Okay. Underwater mystery in the Keys. Fish are swimming in circles. It certainly feels like a sonar thing.
Yeah, but that's not what I get. I asked if it was man-made, and I got no.
Well, isn't climate change man-made? If it's associated.
Climate change is, but I mean, is it like one specific act that man's doing that's causing it? It's not. That's one of those bases that Dr. Gale talks about all the time.
I'm trying to decipher it, but all I'm seeing is like the sonar that give off. It's not working right.
Oh, okay.
So they show me the sonar, but it's kind of off. I don't know why yet. That's all I'm.
Well, it's not the whales calling and driving them crazy.
No, it's you know, it's kind of like, a person that doesn't have their full faculties does certain things. Let's say if someone is, I can't remember the term right now, but just always done things, or like Tourette's or something, like, things they can't control, they will just do certain things. Well, it's throwing off their central cerebrum or whatever, and they're just doing circles. So something is throwing them off. And it very well could be neurotoxins or something like that.
That's what I got. I got it's an illness more than anything else. They're going to figure it out. The first thing I asked was it man-made? It said no. The next thing I asked was it from just the environment there? And it said no. And I said, will we figure out what it is? I got a clear yes on that because it started with justice. And then I said, is it an illness? And I got yes, because they had the death, that it's not anything anybody made. Okay. It's like COVID. And we're going to figure it out. It's going to take a little while, but it's going to bring a whole new understanding of some part of how that part of the world works. It's like a mass hysteria illness. And I know we do a lot of crap with sonar and things like that, but I think it's just they're sick.
It is a mysterious thing. So like in the past, I get Wheel of Fortune, the Hierophant card, and then Universal Mysteries. It very well be mostly because of climate change.
Well, that could have been what caused the
it's a mystery, but it's our governmental or our system we've created, but it's a change. Wheel of Fortune is the change in cycles. So it's like the Hierophant can also be Earth, or things have done. This doesn't make me feel like it's, pollution or anything like that. So it's something drastic that is quickly changed. Knight of Swords, 3, 4 of Coins is like the way you do things. So it's like, so when you have a drastic change, it's like a culmination of something that's going on, right? So in the end, I do think there's some kind of figuring out disaster, because we're going to have news, success, blessings here with the 9, 10 of Cups on this disaster. So yeah, I think they're going to figure out what's going on, but I think it's mostly environmental by creation of climate change, cause factors, but it feels to me like it's throwing off their internal senses. Yeah, Colleen's probably got it right. Easiest. Effects of environmental stress. Barbara could be right too. It's like toxic algae or something.
It's something biochemical that's like a disease.
It's like when I was on vacation, I only went in the ocean once swimming. There's so much algae and ocean junk. It's not clear. You got all this plankton and all these stuff that's floating up all the time. So maybe it has something to do with that. Just too much movement. Coral and all this algae is needed for the plants. Well, when it's shifting and moving and dying, that changes your environment too. So something like that. Good question. This kind of goes to the fact 45 is running out of days. He has 10 days to pay it. We haven't heard a thing. Is he going to find the money to pay that $75 million now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Well, he's not going to be able to get out of those stocks. And I don't know, I've heard a bunch of people talk about how stocks are valued, and ultimately that stock's way overvalued right now because it never made any money. And it has no it's got no source. It's not like such a new idea. It's not initiating something.
The balance sheet isn't there.
Right. So, I could go out and say I'm selling, something. Plus it's a poorly designed platform and they're being sued 20 ways from nothing because they stole a bunch of their software from people. So
it's up in the dark, AJ says.
I think they're going to be watching them like a hawk. I don't think anybody has any idea that woman that's just been sitting there quietly for the last 3 or 4 years, monitoring everything that went in and out of that company. She knows where everything is by now.
Mm-hmm. So let's read on the question. Is he going to get the $175 million?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not seeing it.
I don't know why they gave him. I don't understand why they cut that at all. And they wrote no opinion as to why they cut the amount.
It feels like a good idea, though, in a sense, because any appeal will fail.
Mm-hmm.
But if the AG's got $175 million in cash,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for the failed appeal, it's there. They don't have to worry about liquidating and selling assets, and
Mm-hmm.
they have the $175 million. What the heck?
I'm telling you right now, he's still working on getting it. He doesn't have it.
I don't believe he has it.
He's not close to accomplishing his goals. And this is putting it all together and having an answer. So, but right now, right this very second, he's still scrambling.
Good news. Well, we found out that, or reporters did or whatever, that he used a Charles Schwab account.
Yeah, he had cash in a Schwab account. Yeah.
Future investments or whatever for that $90 million. Yeah, beg borrow.
He got in early.
Justice, secrets, money. I don't think he has it. Burdened. Death. Moon. Six of Cups. I think he's leveraged out. This is also Devil. My Devil Death card. Justice is coming here. Great news with Justice. In the end, I have my Hermit Fool card and Hangman. It's like a threesome card, right? It's all kind of failures. Ten of Wands is burdened. There's issues there getting the money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the money's locked up. Like the Four of Coins, it's locked up. It's can't be accessed. If there is any money, I don't see him getting it. I don't see it. Do I have bird flu in my state? I have heard no reports of that in Wisconsin. Any bird flu?
I don't know.
Only thing I've heard is like the Midwest supposedly of moving one animal from one state to the other. My dad, my parents, and sister and brother-in-law are trying to sell their deer farm or their animals.
Mm-hmm.
They went out of it, and they had a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but the DNR would not let them go to the buyer because that the buyer had one deer with chronic wasting disease.
Oh dear. Oh,
So now
that's all over everywhere, I thought.
it is everywhere. And it's a non-issue. It's kind of like when everyone freaked out about mad cow disease.
Mm-hmm.
And that caused the government. We could not, when I was farming, let's say a cow slipped on the ice or something in the barnyard, and
Mm-hmm.
you can't milk cows anymore. You basically had to put that animal down after the whole mad cow thing, because the government said they must have mad cow disease if they fell. So we couldn't even have that animal processed for hamburger or nothing. We just had to bury it, thanks to mad cow disease, which was nothing. It was frustrating to everyone. And then we had to actually, if you want to call the dead wagon that would went to dog food or something, you had to pay them, thanks to all
Mm-hmm.
the regulations and fines and everything to that. It was ridiculous. Bonjour, 121. Looked at that. Looked at that. Oh, Carrie gave us a donation here or something.
Carrie, thank you very much.
Oh, she's got an animal. Speaking of cows and bulls. So, will there ever be help for families with high cost of care for people with dementia?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It feels like it would have to be an expansion into Medicare or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they showed me Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
That takes other people. That takes Democrats.
Yes. Takes different. Yeah, I got a big yes on that. And it's going to become a very pertinent issue when you have people who want to actually solve things instead of creating more problems. Um, this is the family being together and trying to hold things up. And there's just a lot of misunderstanding and difficulties in dealing with this. What it's going to require is the money that's going to have to be explained to people what they can get. And it's going to come at a time when the devil's been put down, which means the R's are the people who would vote against that. Now, there are Democrats who don't love, I mean, they don't talk about it loud, but there's some of them that don't like that. But in England, what they do is they pay family members to help monitor the elderly so they can keep them as home as long as possible. And that helps a lot. You can write me in if I'm wrong about that, but when I was visiting and with my husband's family, and all of his siblings were older than he was, and they were in their 70s and such, and all their kids got a small fee and then every once in a while the government sent in a worker who made sure everything was okay. But they keep, and they'll put the things, those chairs to climb your stairs and all that stuff, they'll put all that in to keep you in your house as long as they possibly can, because removing people from where they felt comfortable accelerates the dementia or all of those neurologic problems that show up.
Yeah, that was difficult. The lady I had a long-term relationship before my current, her father went through that.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom tried to keep him at home as long as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But when he started beating her, he had to
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
And he bounced around a lot of facilities. It cost a lot of money. And because he got so violent with people, and he didn't know he was doing it, but he would just get violent.
That's one of the symptoms. I had a client that I managed his properties. He was an attorney. He got dementia. And when I talked to his wife after he had died, and she had put him in a Catholic facility. She said that her priesthood had to come and tell her, you got to put him in because the next thing is he's going to be beating you up, which if you met this guy, you would never imagine he could ever do anything like that. And she said he did. I mean, he didn't, she got him out before it happened, but she said that's an effect they don't talk about. They don't just get passive and forget where they are. They get angry, which I would presume you would if you're in a very confusing place. My prediction is that it will get written into Medicare. And because it's written in such a mass amount, it makes it less expensive to take care of them.
Yeah. Timing, who knows? Mm-hmm. You see a change of this heartbreak that causes people with a Wheel of Fortune. And then I do have the government, my Hierophant card, doing the right thing. And then it feels like something quick, though. But it's going to take Democrats to do it. Yeah, obviously. The magnetic pole shifts on resonance.
The Schumann resonance. It's right. The Schumann resonance, not shamanic.
To me, it feels more of a climate change thing. Mm-hmm. You know, when you have hurricanes and everything, the water's warming, corals dying. Mm-hmm. We had that seaweed sludge coming towards Florida, and it was poison and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It feels something like that. It doesn't feel like a resonance or any kind of sound or like a manufacturing. It feels like it's due to climate change. But because my guy just showed me it's the sonar coming from them, not from elsewhere. So that's all I can say. Mm-hmm. Melissa says a disabled Facebook friend had to send her husband away because he knocked her out of her chair.
Yep.
Yeah. It just gets too hard. Mm-hmm. You know, it depends on the person. You know, I follow this guy on TikTok and his family takes care of his dad and his dad just forgets things. Kind, gentle man. He just forgets. But like in my story, my ex-girlfriend's father got mean. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We've had weird stuff grow in the rivers here that actually killed children. It knocked out their neurologic systems. Oh. So that's why they say towards the end of summer, don't swim in stagnant water. Ugh. We want to swim in stagnant water anyway.
Gross. All right. We're already at 128. So.
That's right.
Inspiration.
I have to go make my lamb dinner for Easter.
Oh, cool. Inspiration on Easter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Since we're all focused on eclipses.
Melissa said her sister was cared for by Medicare and the state in Iowa.
Okay.
It probably depends on the states. A lot of these red states aren't even taking Medicare, Medicaid, or whatever expansion.
They don't take it to the extent they can take it. They can't stop you as an individual if you file your tax returns from getting it. But yeah, we just need to get a national standard so you can know where to live and feel like you're being. You got to realize I live in a state that just steals. It steals from New York and California. They pay in more than they get back, and Texas doesn't pay in nearly what it should. And they think that's just fine.
Unfortunate.
Okay. I'm going to pull from my Moonology deck, since coming up on the big old eclipse here.
How is this? These cards that I pulled feels like releasing from the past.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feeling. So I got the renewal card, and that's reviewing. It feels like, isn't that the judgment card, number 20?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like understanding your life purpose and reviewing. The 5 of coins, the 5 of autumn is like having struggles but reaching out for change.
Mm-hmm.
It's like poor timing, but all that renew and struggle can bring in new emotional and positive experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Reaching out for friends or whatever it may be. Yeah, the Page of Cups is the final. So it's like it's like a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Life is like a cycle. So we have struggles. You always have your past to rely upon to delve into, and like, oh, I can change this because I've been there before, or this person's been there before, and I can change, and I can get out of the situation because it's been like someone made a comment once. It's like, you may be going through a tough time, but I guarantee you billions of other people have been through it before and they have gotten through it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So this is the ending. It's just the gentle, the sensitive, the kind. It's the new experience, the emotional experience, and reaching out to a friend too helps. Go for it.
Okay. I pulled the cardinal moon, and it says, be bold and make the first move. And this moon is in Aries, and that's a cardinal moon. I'm taking charge of my own destiny. Additional meanings for this card can be bold and follow your heart and your emotions. Avoid recklessness by moving too fast. Come into your own power. It's time for the action to become real. Ask Ganesh, the Hindu elephant god, for help. And in astrology, there are 3 quadrifiles: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Cardinals are where you put your foot out in the world and start. Cardinal moon is in Aries, Cancer, and Libra, and Capricorn. And this is so in tune with the meaning of this full moon and this whole eclipse. This whole eclipse is release, move, open the door, and move forward. So
You're right, Aspie. Right-leaning folks seem to vote against their own interests.
that's true. I never understood that.
It's that fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's that outrage. When people say things,
Mm-hmm.
Republican leaders say things,
Mm-hmm.
it gets into the mind of what they really want and what they really believe.
Right.
You know, the caravans
you kind of look at them. Don't you understand that hurts you? Well,
like
no, I'm not part of that group that's over there, that's being handled this way. And everybody get geared up for the next Sunday. I'll have on my total solar eclipse t-shirt.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah. It says, hello, darkness, my old friend. My generation's music. And
thanks, Wheezy. So yeah, it's like Republicans in Alaska were asked, what's the biggest problem in America. Our southern border. It's really affecting them in Alaska is the southern border.
Yeah, Cold Toast didn't even mention it to me once when I talked to her yesterday.
It's crazy. And when you hear the reports and everything else,
that's the news they get. That's the media they watch. If you want to help stop that, don't perpetuate it by watching the same media and getting the same kind of angry, because that vibration goes out in the world. And somebody in here said they think too many of the people who work with the light are ignoring the pain and suffering. It couldn't be further from the truth. We understand it's out there, but we also understand how our own emotions can feed into it. And we don't want to do that either. And Republicans just want to perpetuate, well, not all of them, but there's a lot of them that just want to perpetuate it. So,
yeah, I mean, many people actually say, when actually talked about the serious issue, is we need more immigrants.
Legal. I know we don't have enough workers.
But the right puts out the rage for power and pushes fear, and it gets into people's minds, this fear. You know, if you get a heavy dose of whatever that fool's name is, Jesse Waters or Hannity, they just put out this outrage and don't tell the whole story, and it gets in people's minds. Oh. And the same thing happened to my cousin that passed away. Same age. We had the Facebook arguments. He would not let go of Benghazi, the Democrats in Benghazi. He wouldn't let go of immigrants. He wouldn't let go of, oh, look at Venezuela. They're a socialist country. They went to hell. All this, you know. Then he just calls me a liptard. You know, It's like, really? You know,
there was one good thing that happened this week. If you look at that sort of things, Sierra Leone had a president who said he wasn't going to leave. He had been elected 10 years ago, and he stalled around and fart-assed around. But Sierra Leone's was being supported by Russia to some extent, and they went ahead and they were going to have an election again, try again. And he ended up jailing the guy he was running against. And when they went to the polls, the guy who was in jail was elected. And everybody sat back and waited for the whole thing to blow up. And what happened was the guy who was not elected relented. And they've just had a calm constitutional passage of power in Sierra Leone, which was like not on anybody's bingo card anywhere. But and the soldiers that were supported by Prigozhin, the guy that Putin blew out of the air, in I think it's Nigeria, they've been taking kids out of schools and just kidnapping whole schools full of kids. They started giving them back.
Thank God.
So, you know, you have to, but did you see any of that? No, all you see is the dysfunctional things. And I've heard psychics say anything from 2 to 10%. If 2 to 10% of the people can get their vibrations in the right way, it can ripple across the earth.
AJ Lowe would love to speak with you.
Go to my website, Crystal Directions. It's got how to reach me. It's actually Nancy Jean, crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. If you email me, I'll talk to you. I mean, I'll give you a phone number. I'm not giving my phone number out on the show. I can't imagine why.
Email her.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And please subscribe and please like, because, you know, they say that some as high as 70% of the people who watch our shows don't subscribe. So.
Mothers.
And Scott and I are, Scott's sitting in the cold Wisconsin. It's 70 degrees here, so I can't say anything thrown out.
It ain't too bad. We'll get there. Then I can bring my boat out once it gets warm. Yay. Back
Yay.
boating season.
Oh, boat time again.
All right. Have a blessed Easter, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Talk to you later. Bye.